My grandmother, aged 99 or something, I said, what's the advantage of your age? And she says, I can say whatever I want. And I just thought, why not bring that forward a bit?
Yeah.
Let's not wait till we're 99 before we say, I can say whatever I like. My friends that have known me for a long time go, you do this with every single book you write. You always say, it's no good, it's no good.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to be a bestseller. So will you shut up?
Yeah.
I go, okay. But now we're always on our phones because that's not a risk. You know, scrolling, in my case, lots of cats falling off buildings. And things.
Same.
Yeah,
Cat
lovely.
people.
Yeah, nice. But, 10 minutes a day, okay. But let's not forget the lost art of conversation.
Philippa, I'm so thrilled to see you again.
I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's so exciting. We were just talking off mic about you're in the middle of a pottery course at the moment.
That's right, I am. Yeah.
That must be gorgeous.
I can build things out of pottery, but I've never learnt how to throw. So now I'm at the wheel, and I never realised it was so physical.
Really?
You have to put my arms are aching from pushing the clay and trying to get it into the right shape.
Yes.
It's tough.
I bet. But is it good to like a bit of a release? Like you're getting some aggression
Release.
into that
I've never
clay?
been so tense in all my life. It's not yet. I've only been doing it for 2 days.
But how wonderful! I
need a massage.
You need a massage.
It's really tough.
I really want to do an art course at some point. I love painting. I've always loved painting, and it's like my sanity is painting. But I've never. I want to dedicate that time to painting one day and do a proper course.
Instead of going on a beach holiday,
do that.
Just go for a week's intensive somewhere and. With a nice tutor and learn it. It's great. I'm having quite a lot of fun with it.
Bet you are. It's such a gorgeous
but
thing
it's
to
not
do.
Relaxing.
No,
it's hard.
I don't think I understood how physical pottery was. I need to give it a go.
Yeah, it's very physical.
Well, I'm so glad that we can chat today and hang out because I haven't seen you since 2019.
That's right. That was a year before the pandemic, I think.
It was so bonkers to look back because I went through our podcast feed and I was spooling back and like, nope, still not there. I was like, Philippa Perry, 2019. Yeah. To me, that was maybe a couple of years ago. 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Wild.
I mean, 7 years used to be such a long time.
Not anymore.
But now it's like last week.
I know. It's terrifying.
It's like catching up with old friends. I feel like, oh yeah, let's have lunch again. That'd be great. And then we say, oh my God, we last had lunch a year ago.
I know. It's mad.
Time speeds up.
I mean, last time we met, we did a deep dive on your book, The Book You Wish Your Parents Had Read, which is a book that seemingly just lives on and on. A book that people are still so interested in and love reading and buying.
People keep having children and they need to know how to have relationships with them. So the book is still relevant.
Yeah. You must still get approached a lot with, parents coming up to you or kids of parents saying this book has changed my life.
Well, luckily, I've got a Substack so people can write to me with their problems about parenting or relationships or anything. So yes, they do keep coming up to me either via email or in the street.
It remains, obviously I have parents, I am a parent. It remains still one of the sort of most obviously important dynamics in my life, but the one that teaches me the most relentlessly. You're constantly confronted with yourself and the things that trigger you, but also the things that make you feel great about yourself. It is just the most bonkers dynamic to deal with being a parent.
It is. And you've written a book called Likeable, which is really relevant, actually, because you can't just be likeable to your kids.
No.
You've got to, it's love plus boundaries. It's not either or.
Yeah.
It's got to be both. Otherwise, you'd just be, steamrollered.
Yeah, and also I think then your kids go off out into the world expecting like everyone's just going to say yes to everything that I want to do, or you're not then used to boundaries yourself if you go out into the world without that.
And you can't put down boundaries yourself unless you've had that demonstrated to you by your parents.
Yeah, exactly.
My daughter's incredibly good at boundaries.
Really?
A little bit too good sometimes. Not today, Mum. Oh, okay.
We've had Flo on the podcast.
Oh, have you?
Yes. Well, not only that, I painted her. Well, she came onto the podcast and then I painted a portrait of her.
Yeah.
But we had such a great chat. I mean, she's an incredibly talented artist as well.
Yeah, she
and
is.
got married, was it last December?
She got married last November. And to a Scottish lass, and they've just moved to Scotland.
Wow.
And I'm getting on a plane very soon to get in the way. Tell them where they should put their furniture.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, but the wedding looked gorgeous. I was looking at all the pictures online. And
yeah. It was really good, except for one thing. Grayson, my husband, dad dancing, snapped his Achilles tendon. No. Yes.
Going for it a bit too much?
Going for it a little bit too much, with a little bit too much alcohol in his system.
Right.
Didn't know his limits, I'm afraid. Snap. No tendon. And it's the slowest thing to heal in the body. It's much better if you break a bone.
Oh, God.
Because this takes about 9 months to heal.
Oh, God.
And he gets out of the boot and he's told to do a lot of walking. You should never tell my husband to do a lot of something because he takes it literally.
Okay.
And he did so much walking that because he wanted to get better fast, that he's now got a stress fracture on his foot. And now he's got to go back into the boot.
I mean, it's a sign of a good party.
Yeah, it is. And, the higher the number of hospital admissions, the better the party, for sure.
I think so. It's so great. Hey, I loved reading this book.
Oh, thank you.
So much. It's
Thank
so brilliant.
you.
This is a fiction that you've written, Philippa. Shrink solves murder.
Yeah.
And the protagonist, Pat, is expecting her 3 p.m. to turn up.
Yeah.
He doesn't. There's a suspected suicide, but she's assuming it's not suicide, and therefore she goes on this sort of treasure hunt of clues and trying to decipher what happens. I'm imagining as having a big therapeutic background, that actually having that sort of mindset, you sort of have got yourself in a good position to solve, if it is a potential murder, or look for clues, because you have to have, I'm imagining, a very wide perspective on life and human behaviour, self-awareness.
I think actually her Pat's biggest advantage is that she knows how to rally the troops. She could not have solved that murder alone. And one thing psychotherapists are supposed to be good at is having relationships. And so it's her relationships with other people that working together, they get to the answer.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
She didn't do it by herself.
No. And there's so many things I love about Pat. And I wonder how much crossover there is with yourself. I mean, whenever you write fiction, it's hard not to put lived experience or yourself in there.
She is definitely an aspect of me. She is the person I kind of wish I was, but I'm not. Maybe I've got to read your book because Pat does not worry about being likeable.
Love that.
She is the grumpiest woman you'll meet on the South Downs.
Yeah.
And when you meet her on the South Downs, she'll probably tell you off for something.
Well, she's very pissed off about someone leaving a Mars bar wrapper daily.
Yes, that is a subplot. The Mars bar wrapper. That's another mystery that needs solving. But she loves cold water swimming, which is something that you love. Yes, that's
swimming
right.
in the sea. What benefit do you get from that? What do you love about it?
You get really, really cold, and it's so nice to warm up again. I'm not actually sure what benefits it gives you. I like moving my arms and legs in the water, but I actually would prefer if it was 30 degrees and not 6 degrees. But you have to go with what you can work with. It's nicer than swimming in a swimming pool because you're out in nature and stuff. But the downside is that it's cold, but you can get used to the cold.
You can, and like you say, the relief is just such a glorious moment at the end
when you get out. Yeah.
And you feel like you've achieved something. Yeah, when you're dry and warm and thinking back to the colder days, it is wonderful.
It does get the blood pumping for sure.
It really, really does. So you're saying you'd like to be a bit more cantankerous like Pat? Pat.
Yeah, I'm working towards getting there. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, and the other thing about the book is that I've made some characters that I hope you enjoy hanging out with. Her friends, her frenemies, her enemies.
Some are loathsome.
Yes, they're fun though, aren't they?
So fun.
Yeah.
I'm imagining fun to write. Loathsome characters are fun to write.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because you can just put out all your inner wishes.
You can just imagine a friend of yours and I say friend and put them in the book, and they're so vain they're never going to recognise themselves.
I love it.
Yeah.
You've said not so much about this Pat, but if it's the same Pat in your book Couch Fiction, that you wanted to create a therapist character who is imperfect, because we've all got this imagined idea that therapists are these perfect humans who just get how the world works and they're there to tell us how to live, and that's not what you believe.
And Couch Fiction was Pat Phillips maybe 15 years ago, and she was an imperfect therapist then, and she's an imperfect therapist now. In fact, we have a session in the book with her supervisor, who does quite a lot of trying to knock Pat back into some sort of therapeutic shape rather than become a sleuth. Yes.
Yeah. I love that mention of Pat meeting up with other therapists, because that is something that therapists do, right? It's essential that they have therapy.
Yeah.
Did you do that? Do you still do that?
I meet up once a year with 50 psychotherapists for a week. I like to get it all over, in 1 week.
In one go.
And we all go to Mexico and we take over a convent, and it's like a campus, and we hang out and we do therapy on each other intensely for a week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I really enjoy it. Yeah.
I can only imagine. I mean, therapy has absolutely changed my life, in every way. I used to dip in and out of it and think, I'll just go. It was always SOS moments. Yeah. And then the last 2 years, I thought, I've got to give a more consistent approach a go and just see what happens. And my whole life's changed. I go every Wednesday, as much as I can on that particular day. And it is something about going on even a day where you feel all right that seems to be the key.
I think it's when you're feeling all right, you've got more power, energy to rise above your life and look down on it and observe yourself. And that's what's really useful. If you're in the middle of a really big feeling, all you've got is that really big feeling. But if you can separate yourself from the feeling and observe yourself having the feeling, you realise you've got choices that you don't realise you've got if you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, because when you're in it, you just think, this is fact. This is, I have those moments all the time where this is shit and I am this, rather than, like you say, when you're maybe on a better day, you can go, oh, I have felt like that. Or there's a bit of distance.
Or, oh, I notice I'm talking to myself with a critical voice again. Oh, okay. Hi. Whatever you want to call your critical voice, Mrs. Bobkin or something. Just give it a silly name.
Give it a comical name.
Yeah. Hi, Sandra. Yeah. All right, Karen.
I like a very human name.
Apologies to all the Sandras and Karens. I love you all. But, you've
great.
just got to give your critical voice a name.
Yeah.
And then it's separate from you, and you don't take it as seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I actually did a post about this on Instagram this morning, because I could hear my critical voice piping up a bit over the Easter holidays. And my exact post was, my tip of the day, not that I know what I'm talking about, but my tip of the day from personal experience is be less of a cunt to yourself, because we are so awful to ourselves.
We are our own worst enemies.
Awful.
And our own worst critics.
Yeah.
I have to have a lot of editors telling me, no, keep writing. Yeah, no, the book is good. Keep going. Because others I go, is it any good? Is it? No, it's not. Is it? No. Apparently it's really good. Thanks very much.
It's really good. But I think especially with fiction, what you're doing is asking a bunch of strangers to believe in a made-up story.
I didn't realise that it was going to be so much more exposing than writing non-fiction. Because non-fiction, you're writing the truth. You put in examples from your own life. I mean, surely that's the most exposing thing. No, putting your imagination out on the page, that is exposing.
Terrifying.
That is the true you. That's what's going on in your head all the time.
Yes, exactly. And it, as I said, it's a big ask to go, and everybody else, please believe this as much as I do. And that sort of vulnerability in hoping that they do.
Yeah.
So say, we could use this book as an example. You're in the middle of the book, you've got a bit of self-doubt going on or a critical voice. What do you do with your knowledge and wisdom to override that?
I just take no notice of it. I go, hello, Betty, to the critical voice. Thanks very much. I'm sure you'd like me to stop now, but I'm going to go on even if I don't like it. And I'm going to push through. So I do that, and then I show it to someone, and somebody encouraging. Don't show it to your worst enemy. I show it to someone, and they give me some encouragement. I mean, the people at my publishers are wonderful and very encouraging, and cheerleaders they are. It's really great.
Yeah, we do need that. We need, when we can't find that positive voice ourselves, we have to find the right people.
I mean, sometimes I feel like if I don't believe in me, I need to find people that do believe in me, and they can just carry me over the river, over the torrent, till I get to the other side, and then, oh, thanks guys. I mean, I've thanked them in the acknowledgements, my sort of like rallying team of friends, and there's just support. Even if they don't know what's going on in the book, I'm reminded that my friends that have known me for a long time go, you do this with every single book you write. You always say, it's no good, it's no good. And then it goes on to be a bestseller. So will you shut up? I go, okay, thanks.
There's a horrible little cycle, I think. Like, I've talked to friends of mine that are either writing the process at the same time as me, or we know that cycle well of, oh my God, I've got an idea. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's so exciting, it's so exciting. And then either halfway through or in the edit, this is a pile of shit. I don't know even what this means anymore.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? And you do need good people at that point to sort of salvage your confidence.
You need carrying.
With it. You do.
You need carrying. And even on my pottery course, right, I'm throwing pots for the first time, and I think it looks like a sort of wobbly egg cup. And the teacher comes along and goes, that's great. You're doing really well. And I go, oh, really? Thanks very much. And I can carry on.
Yeah.
And if she said, if she chimed with the voice in my head of saying that's rubbish, I'd probably pack up my little wooden tools and leave.
Yes. And I think, so many of us lose confidence maybe when we leave childhood because somebody at some point has said to us, you're bad at that. You shouldn't do that.
I think if you look at children's drawings, you can see this, because children draw without any self-consciousness. This is my house, this is my mum, this is my cat, circles with sticks out of them. And I don't know when it happens, 7, 8, 9, sometimes they just think, no, that's crap, that's no good.
Yeah.
It's no good. And they stop drawing, and then they never get any better. But if they carry on drawing, you draw like a grown-up in the end. Yeah,
and also you will enjoy it. Like you're saying, you're starting pottery.
Yeah.
You're not going to be good immediately starting something new, but to carry on doing something because it feels good rather than the outcome must be amazing, that feels very important.
I mean, especially as I can build things out of slabs in pottery, so I can make some great-looking things in pottery. And here I am doing a new technique. And I just want to go, I know how to make this look better if I do my old way. But that's not the point. I'm learning a new technical skill.
Yes, it's so good to learn new things.
It's good for your brain.
Try new things and put yourself in a position where you're at ground zero. You don't know what you're doing. I think that's so important.
And I think that if you were one of those children who were told, I know you're not because you're a good artist, but you're told don't bother drawing, you haven't got any talent, and you've stopped, you can start again, whatever age you are.
But I think also
you can start at 80, like Grandma Moses.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think it goes even further than outside of people critiquing what you're good at or not good at. When people give you a label, like in childhood, if someone says, you're being too loud, or you're cocky, or why are you always the kid that does that thing? I think that stuff stays with you later in life. What's the way to start overriding that when you know you've got this label that you don't like about yourself?
Yeah, like mine was show off.
Right.
So it was very difficult for me, I think, to do anything in public. In fact, I didn't publish my first book until I was 50. And, I worked as a psychotherapist behind closed doors and nobody knew what I got up to. And I am a show-off. I don't deny it. And so the show-off part of me sort of was like, why can't I show anybody what I do? Which is when I wrote Couch Fiction, which is a graphic novel about psychotherapy. And so I felt like now I've shown people what I can do. But what I found out by doing that book, that I wasn't all that great at it, actually, because you have to write a book of truth, even if it's a book of fiction. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And I realised, like, I'm only an average therapist. I'm not the greatest. I'm not a great therapist. But I thought, and that's good enough as well.
So you are a great therapist.
I'm a therapist. No, I don't think I'm a great therapist. I mean,
why?
Well, after working with 49 other really great therapists, I realised that, my talent has somewhere to go in that respect.
Do you really think that?
Oh, I think there's always room for improvement. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've got so much from reading your books. I can't tell you.
I'm not saying I'm probably better at writing about therapy than practicing it, because I get very impatient because I see the end goal and I kind of want to push my clients faster than they want to go to the end goal. And you shouldn't do that. You should go at the client's pace. So I do have the odd fault.
Do you think because not only with your psychotherapy, but your correct me if I'm wrong, your initiation was working for the Samaritans back in the day.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
So that, is another flavour of that. Also learning how to talk to people, how to encourage people, how to help people recover from very tricky situations. Would you say over the course of your work in psychotherapy, there are very solid themes that come up again and again? And, the circumstance will be different, but as humans, we all struggle with X, Y, and Z.
I've never met anyone who hasn't got an inner critic of some sort or other. And I think the difference between people is those that take the inner critic too seriously and become the inner critic, and those that can observe it and think, not today, thank you. I think that is a big theme for most people.
Yeah, but how refreshing to know that everybody has that, because I think we assume there are some people immune to it. They don't have it.
Well, I just wonder where Donald Trump's inner critic is.
Okay, he hasn't got one.
And maybe if you haven't got one, you do go mad.
You're a sociopath.
I don't know.
I think it is maybe a symptom of sociopathy. No?
I mean, it's quite good to have a helpful critic, isn't it?
Yes.
So you have to know what is a self-sabotaging inner critic and what is quite useful feedback for doing better next time. And I think how you tell the difference is that a bad inner critic is a generalized, this is no good, this is terrible. Whereas a useful one is, you got those bits right, this bit could do with a bit of fine tuning, but that bit's working well. If it's specific feedback about where you can improve, and it's not a damning of your character or of the whole of you, then it's probably quite useful.
I agree, because I think when it is that blanket coverage, you're shit, that's the thing that then stops you even bothering at all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm leaving that. I'm not going to try that thing or do that thing. It's it can be massively debilitating.
Yeah.
When you've been in Mexico and you're working with these other therapists, what have you come away with? Is it, I don't know, more self-awareness or understanding about yourself, or has it helped you heal from certain things?
I think what I come away with is the more of ability to stay grounded in myself rather than being a bit too much in my thoughts. So I think I get a little bit more in my body and be able to relate and respond from that place.
Yeah.
I can all too easily, I'm a bit of an intellectual, so I can all too easily go up into my head and then miss the other person, because really we are bodies. That's what we basically are. And although we're talking to each other with words, we're also breathing together, sitting opposite each other, we're in each other's space, we're breathing each other's air. So I think that body-to-body communication is really important. And if you're too much in your head, you can't receive the other person on a sort of bodily level. You know, when you walk into a room and there's an atmosphere, you go, hello, what's going on there? That's when it's an extreme body-to-body reaction. You're responding to the tension in other people's bodies. A word doesn't have to be spoken, and you can sort of feel it. You go, hello, what's going on? And I think that reaction can be fine-tuned all the way down to, you know, how do we feel together? And I think I come away with much better skills in that department, which I can forget the rest of the time. Yeah.
I mean, it is, it's imperative when you're like reading a situation, reading a room, but I'm imagining one step further is using that to your benefit when you're in a setting, I don't know, where you feel nervous, or a setting where you feel intimidated, inferior. I've been in so many situations where I've felt inferior to a journalist interviewing me, or something where I feel a bit triggered, and you notice that your body language is curled up and in, and you're actually if you can fake it till you make it, I guess, really, and inhabit a body that feels relaxed and outward, it does help cognitively change things.
I mean, a real easy way to do that is thinking, how am I breathing right now?
Yeah.
And as soon as you do that, you usually slow down and get into the breath. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Oh my God, I love it. I used to hold my breath at the top when I was on the radio.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I was on the radio every bloody day, and I would find myself...
I never noticed. You sounded good to me.
Oh my God, but you're like on tenterhooks. I don't want anything bad to happen, so I'm going to hold my breath to freeze time, you know, and then as soon as you exhale, it is like the simplest way just to go, oh my God, like I'm safe. Everything's all right.
Yeah.
I'm okay. What would you say are the things in your life story that have been recurrent, where you're like, oh, I'm in that cycle again, oh, I'm doing that again, like habits you've fallen into, or cycles that you know aren't helpful in your life that you've been able to kind of stop and check and go, there's room for change there?
I think one of them is I'm not good enough. That can come in. And so it's really good to clock it. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just acting as if I'm not good enough, rather than noticing that's what's happening and thinking, I'm probably good enough. You know, so there's that one.
I find that really surprising. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah. And sometimes I can be shy. And the best way of me not being shy is to come out, talk to people, meet people, go on a pottery course, chat to people. It's practice. And I found out during the pandemic, when I didn't practice my social muscle, that it atrophied.
Yep.
So the first party I went to, which was a book launch, it wasn't my best friends, who I was probably okay with. It was like colleagues, fellow writers, people I was really pleased to see and wanted to see. I just sort of got so shy I couldn't cope with it. And so because of the lack of social practice, I'd gone back to being about 15.
Wow.
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got very hermity in the pandemic, and I found it like a struggle. And also I had an operation at the end of 2024? Was it 4?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway, I didn't work for about 6 weeks, and I didn't really see anyone. And then I had a work event. It was the first week back in January. Yeah. And I was like a rabbit in headlights, like, oh my God, all these people. And what's my face doing? Am I smiling? Am I grimacing? You know, and it is
self-consciousness comes back.
Yeah, of course.
And normally I'm just interested in other people and don't think about being self-conscious, but that takes practice.
Yeah.
And when I was out of practice, I was going, oh, do I eat a canopy? Oh, will that look ugly? You know, what load of rubbish to fill your head with. Took me ages to get back into eating canopies unselfconsciously, you know.
It's a big step.
Yeah, thanks.
When we look at that notion of not being good enough, I'm pretty sure that 90% of people listening to this, if not more, will go, well, I feel like that, or I have in the past felt like that. It's probably the number one thing that halts us from, again, trying something new, socializing altogether, dating. You know, it's going to affect all areas of our life. How do we start to override that, or to, is it again, fake it till you make it? Because often there's not proof to go, oh, but I am good enough, you know, because it's not an evidence-based thing.
The other thing is a silly question. Good enough or not good enough, it's not really relevant, is it?
No.
It's sort of like, you're here, you're allowed to be here, and some people have had more experience of some things than you have, and you've had more experience than some things that they have. You know, they might all be brilliant television producers or whatever they are, but you're a psychotherapist, or you're a broadcaster, or whatever you are. You know, you've got your area.
Yeah.
You know your children better than they do, or whatever your thing of expertise is. You don't have to be expert at anything, but I just feel like we're all humans. And that's it, really. We're all human, and we're all pretty much equal.
We are. Do you think, is this quite a modern day concept, this like not being good enough thing? Because if I think about my grandmother's generation, or my great grandma who I met because she lived till she was like 95, I don't think that was necessarily a thought process. It certainly wasn't a conversation.
By the time you get to 95, you don't give a
shit.
You're really owning it. My grandmother, aged 99 or something, I said, what's the advantage of your age? And she says, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, I love that.
And I just thought, why not bring that forward a bit?
Yeah.
Let's not wait till we're 99 before we say, I can say whatever I like.
No, I mean, I just literally recorded a podcast before you arrived, and we touched on this notion of, I've got lots of intergenerational friendships, and my friends who are in their 70s, 80s, they're the ones that are like, I don't care. And you will get to that point. But like you say, why are we waiting?
Well, it might be something to do with estrogen.
Right.
Estrogen.
Well, when that goes, we don't give a fuck.
That's right. Estrogen is the hormone you've got to make sure you don't kill your children. It's the nice hormone.
Right.
It's, along with oxytocin, it's the loving hormone. And when we go through the perimenopause and the menopause, it depletes. And then it's much easier to give far fewer fucks.
Yeah. How do we do that without
unfortunately, I was so bad without estrogen, I was homicidal, that now I have the patches, so I'm still nice.
You can't have it both ways.
No, you can't.
Sadly. Yeah. I mean, as I said, therapy has been massively game-changing for me, but I'm a lucky person who can afford to go to therapy. And we know that globally, this is an issue that we've got, is access to therapy. I mean, this is...
access to good therapy.
To good therapy.
Yeah.
What do we do about that?
Well, it's paying for it, isn't it? And if you can't pay for it, what you mentioned earlier is that every Wednesday you go. So what you have is a regular practice.
Yeah.
And I think regular, structured practices can really help us. For instance, keeping a gratitude journal.
Yeah.
Sounds really simple, but if you do that every night, just after you've cleaned your teeth and before you start reading your novel, just write down 3 things that you're grateful for today. It does, over time, switch your mindset to noticing the good things as well as the shit things.
Yeah.
So there's that sort of practice. And also you can do mindfulness exercises, which sound really dull, and they are quite. I'm not going to lie. But I like to, once a week, sit down, no devices. I sit on the floor, actually, to keep myself awake. No devices, sit on the floor, back against the wall, and have next to me a pencil and paper. And any thought that comes in, I don't turn it into thinking. I keep it as a thought, just write it down. So it's sort of like, oh, I can hear clanking outside.
So any old random shit.
Any old random thought. All right. Oh, mustn't forget that. Oh, let it go. Let it go. Any random thought. And then afterwards, you can have a look at those thoughts. And you have to do it for half an hour. And for the first quarter of an hour, I'm always angry that I'm doing the exercise. And then the last quarter of an hour, I really start to enjoy it, and it goes really fast.
Such an interesting. I've looked into lots of mindfulness.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one, and I like this.
It's how to do it is in my book, How to Stay Sane, which has got many exercises that are good for self-therapy in it, including that one. And then you notice what your thoughts are, and you can go, my goodness, I've had 25 self-critical thoughts, 2 practical thoughts, 3 thoughts about what I can sense. And then you can go, well, I could steer my mind a bit. So then you could do another exercise where you only notice what you can see, what you can hear, what you can taste, what you can smell, and what you can touch. Like you can be aware of what the fluffy carpet feels like under my feet. I can be aware of what my hands feel like on my jeans. Now, this is not interesting, but it can get interesting because you just get into your senses. It's sort of, the Gestaltists used to call it, leave your mind and come to your senses.
Oh, I like that.
Because it's about letting the chattering mind go. The other thing you can think about are things like you can have thousands of thoughts a day, but if you clasp one down and bring it down, you can make it into thinking. And you can choose whether you let go of that thought or bring it in to make it into thinking. We have choices about this. And if you sort of have some sort of regular practice where you notice your thoughts and notice what you want to do with them, it can be as good as therapy. I mean, it's a lot easier when you've got someone to work with about, you know, what's going on in your mind and unpacking your mind and seeing what you want to do with it. Unpack your mind, lay everything out, only put back what you need.
Yeah, because we've got more autonomy than we believe.
And what it's about is sort of journaling and things like that. What it's about is to become more self-aware. Because when we become more self-aware, we've then got choices.
Yeah.
I've got a choice whether I do round in circles panic thinking or whether I come to my senses and notice what I can see, hear, smell, touch. And coming into your senses, if you say do that practice for like quarter of an hour, just what can I smell? It's quite fun to do it now. What can I smell? What can I hear? Oh, I think I can hear a buzzing sound. You know, it's very calming. And it shows you do have a choice about what you fill your head with.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And we fill it with utter crap a lot of the time because we're on our phones and I don't know, people have got opinions about our lives and we're taking that on and we're sort of bombarded by it.
The phone, unfortunately, is a source of dopamine. Now, that gives you a sort of little thrill.
Yeah.
But it's not the right sort of thrill. The right sort of thrill is the thrill I'm having now because I'm having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
It's a contact thrill. And in the olden days, when we were a bit bored, we used to talk to the person next to us on the train or the bus.
Yeah.
But now we're always on our phones because that's not a risk, that's easier, and that's instant. Oh, you know, scrolling, in my case, lots of cats falling off buildings and things.
Same.
Yeah,
Cat
lovely.
people.
Yeah, nice. But, 10 minutes a day, okay. But let's not forget the lost art of conversation.
Yes.
And what is so great about being on a pottery throwing course, everyone, is that you need both hands on the wheel. So there's no scrolling going on.
None.
So I'm having nice chats with strangers.
That's so important.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And it is, so, like you say, it's so much rarer these days. I remember once I actually met an ex-boyfriend when I was a teenager because he used to get on the same train as me. That would never happen today because no one's looking at each other.
You can't remember who's on the train with you now because you're just looking at
You barely
Fearne's
remember
Instagram.
the journey. Exactly. Yeah. We're just on these screens the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, they are fun, but they are addictive and they're designed to be addictive. So just like you wouldn't drink too much, don't take too much of them in. I'm not saying put them down altogether because they are quite fun.
Yeah, exactly.
They are quite soothing.
Yeah.
But it's not so much the doing it that's damaging, I think, as what you're not doing when your hours are eaten up with that, what you are missing out on.
Yeah, hugely.
And it might be missing out on real contact with real people.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's just so important. I love, I'm going to do that mindfulness exercise because I think I know that if I get in a cycle, and it's usually an angry cycle, like I know where my head will go and it will be an angry thing.
Yeah.
And I do have spontaneous moments where I go, I'm going to choose to not dwell on that today or think about that. And as you say, like bring it into your thinking.
Yeah.
And would you say the majority of that is just actually practicing your autonomy? I am choosing to think about, okay, there's a situation going on that I don't like, but I'm going to choose when it is relevant or beneficial to think about it.
Yeah, don't have arguments with those people in your head over and over
I don't
again.
sleep sometimes because of that. You know, that's where it goes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we have got a choice. And I think if you put an hour a week to one side to notice how you're thinking, notice how that makes you feel, deciding what you want to do and practicing that, it is a form of therapy. And you can do it with friends.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have a qualified therapist to do it. It will help if you have my book, How to Stay Sane by Philippa Perry, because there are exercises that help you do self-therapy in that book. So, you know, that would help.
The one thing I know that therapy has helped me with is saying things to somebody that, you know, I tried lots of different therapists over the years, but I found one that it just works and it clicks.
You know, that is the work there. Is finding a therapist that works. I had 3 before I found one that really worked.
Yeah. I mean, I think that sometimes puts people off, doesn't it? Like, oh, it just didn't work. I didn't gel with them.
No, that relationship didn't work.
I have found someone that this person is just brilliant and obviously doesn't always say the things that I'm expecting or the things that I need to hear or want to hear, rather. I do need to hear them.
Yeah. But somebody who will challenge you nicely.
Challenge me, absolutely. Yeah. That's been one of the game changers is the sort of challenging of my beliefs. And one of those has been around shame and feeling immense shame about certain things, voicing these things, and then that shame dissipating really quickly.
Isn't it great how talking about shame makes it go away?
It's mad.
Shame really loves silence, loves isolation.
Loves it. And often, you know, I was very lucky that when I talked about certain things, the therapist that I had, and you could do this with a friend I think that you really trust, is that they offer up something that they have felt ashamed about. And you go, why are you ashamed about that? And it's all, the response is always, you know, you don't need to worry about that because we've built such a narrative in our heads about it. But I think if you know, it took me a long time to say certain things. There's one example I feel happy talking about. When I was in my teens and 20s, I had bulimia. And I couldn't even say the word because I didn't identify with it. That I didn't have that. It wasn't that. It was something a bit different to that. Or this was just, it wasn't a big issue. It was just something that I did and whatever. And then I started to talk to a friend about it because she admitted to me that she had dealt with it. And actually, I can tell you that friend is because she's talked about it on here, Bryony Gordon, and she had talked about losing a tooth because of it. And I was like, oh my God, okay, well, I got receded gums. And then it was like, oh, this is all out in the open. This is not something I need to hide and feel so awful about. And as soon as I started talking about it, I can talk about bulimia now without feeling any physical anything. Before I used to feel like tense and small and stressed out. And now I feel like I'm just talking about walking down the road to get a loaf of bread. But that took me years and years. And it keeps people in the shadows on their own. It could be for a whole lifetime about certain subjects.
Yeah, after working at the Samaritans for a number of years, shame is probably the number one thing that makes people want to disappear themselves. Because it's unbearable and they think they're unbearable and they think they're unacceptable. But talking about it and having someone on the end of the phone going, oh yeah, I can understand why that felt like a good coping mechanism or whatever it was. Yeah, well, that makes sense that you did that. That worked for you for a while. You know, if you just accept someone when they're in the throes of shame, and then you can have shame about all sorts of things like, oh, I don't really belong here. I don't really belong. When I did this, big psychotherapy week with my colleagues, a lot of us were going, oh, I'm not sure whether I belong. And that's what we worked on. And it's so interesting. That, you can be an advanced psychotherapist and you can still think, do I really belong in this group of advanced psychotherapists?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's always so brilliantly myth-busting when you hear about people the top of their game who go, well, I don't feel good enough. I don't feel like I've made it. It's not, and it's not just for certain people. It's like most people feel like this.
Do I belong?
Do I belong? One of the interviews I love listening to recently was you being interviewed by Rylan.
Oh, yeah.
I love Rylan.
Yeah, he's so cute.
He's so great. And I just loved where the conversation went. And you talked about the first time that you had this sort of interaction with your husband, Grayson, where before you'd had that belief of I'm not good enough or whatever, however you were feeling in your dynamics. And you'd spilled a bunch of coffee everywhere.
Yeah.
And that he was really sympathetic. Towards you.
Yeah, I was not used to that. That was right. I dropped a tray of coffee, right? And I immediately thought, oh, I've got to clean this up really quickly before anybody notices. That was my reaction. And he's thinking, where's my coffee? He comes out and goes, oh, you poor thing. And I think, oh, no one's ever reacted like that before. Most people are saying, you klutz, So someone should say, oh, you poor thing. Not that I minded somebody saying you klutz, but this was really different.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, he's helping me clear it up. Oh, he's making a fresh batch of coffee. Oh, I like this. Get used to this. This is nice. Yeah, I don't think I'd had that before. Not in my previous relationships and not in my family of origin. So to have someone be nice to me when I've done something daft, I'll have more of that, please.
Did it take your brain a while to catch up to go, I deserve this?
Oh, I never thought I deserved it. I always thought it was a lovely treat. But thank you for the suggestion. I'll try and take that on. I deserve it. No, I've never been a great one for deserving things. All in good time, Fearne. Give me a chance. I'm only 68. I'm nowhere near that 99 of finished yet.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
How important... I was having a very interesting chat literally 2 days ago with a friend. I'm obviously, with what I do with this podcast, really interested in psychology and psychotherapy and also looking at childhood. And my friend who I was talking to is not. So I was sort of almost quizzing them about pathologizing certain traits or things that they feel were problems in their life. I am probably too quick to pathologize my every move in life or look at what happened in my childhood or whatever and try and make connections and... How important do you think that is? Is it for everybody?
I think it's interesting to know where things come from, but that's all it is. It's not necessarily useful. And it's not enough just to know why something is. It's not enough to know that you're shy because you always got told off for showing off or something. That is not useful in and of itself. What is useful is doing something different. It's changing your behaviour. That's what's useful.
Yeah.
Changing your thought pattern or changing what you actually do. That's what's useful. But to cling on to your childhood or indeed your diagnosis as an excuse isn't going to change anything for you. So these things are useful in order to take the next step.
Do you think everybody can change? Because some people will go, oh, well, I'm just like this. I'm just an anxious person.
Well,
or I'm just
they probably get some comfort from it. They don't particularly want to change. It does take effort. Like, it does take practice. Changing a thought pattern is a bit like building some abs. You can't go to the gym, have one session and expect, the toned body. You have to go 3 times a week for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it is with things like thought patterns. You have to practice.
Yeah.
You have to practice noticing what they are and deciding to change them. Or you can't change them, but observe them rather than be them, which is the first step to them shrinking.
It's quite humbling as well, isn't it? Because if you realise you've got to change, you've got to have a look at the things you know aren't working, which is not always fun, but it's essential if you want to feel better. And
sometimes you quite like the things that aren't working. Have I given up alcohol? No, I have not. Am I going to give up alcohol? Not if my doctor lets me still have a little bit. Thanks very much. Yeah. But if and when the doctor says you can't have any more alcohol, then I would stop. I could stop, but I haven't stopped. Yeah. And maybe it is a bad habit. But I really enjoy it.
Oh, God, me too.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, I love a little drink. I had a period of sobriety. I don't even know why. But it made me even more hermit-like because I've got the propensity to just stay at home. Yeah. And actually, I love going out for dinner and having a couple of glasses of wine or a little cocktail and having a laugh and having that balance and not beating myself up the next day and just feeling a bit shit and it being okay. Yeah. That's been a bit of a readdress in my life recently of just like getting that balance back a bit and going, I just kind of want to have a bit of fun.
I think all or nothing things, polarizations, they're not always a good idea.
No, they're not.
A little bit of what you fancy does you good.
I agree. I mean, we very often hear in many different ways that there is a mental health epidemic going on, that this is, or even the word crisis is used. A, I guess, would you agree? And B, what are your thoughts on that? Why do you think we're in this mess?
I would agree and I wouldn't agree.
Okay.
I think we've all got into phone addiction and we've all got into labels. And the trouble with a label is that it's a full stop. I can't help it. I've got bipolar. There you go. There's your label. And the full stop means that you stop exploring. You stop saying, how do I do this? What are my triggers and what could I do to respond differently? You're not doing the work. You've just got the label and you're holding it up. And that isn't particularly helpful. It might make you feel better in the short term because it quietens the critical voice. Yeah. But in the long term, it's if you're behaving impulsively at the expense of your relationships, you're going to make your life difficult for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, what is our way out of it, if there is such a thing? At this point in time when technology is kind of, more prevalent than ever.
It's to slow down. Slow down and notice what's happening to you. Sounds easy. And also have a look at your screen time. And if it's more than an hour on social media, have a word with yourself. Yeah. If it's more than an hour on games, have a word with yourself and pick up a book. Likeable by Fearne.
Any other books are available.
Murder
yeah, I mean,
by Philippa Perry.
This is such it's so enjoyable. I think having fiction is so great because it is just pure escapism and it's such a great chance to ditch your life for a bit. And I did put jokes in it. Oh, it's really funny. It's funny and I'm not good with any dark subject matters, but you've managed to create a book that actually feels really jolly alongside quite a shit subject.
Right, murder and jollity. Well, the thing is about a murder mystery book, and there's Shrink solves murder. It does what it says on the tin.
Correct.
The thing is about a murder mystery book is that it takes a very complex terrible, the worst thing that can possibly happen problem and ties it up in a neat bow.
Yeah.
And there's a beginning, a middle and an end. And wouldn't it be lovely if life was like that?
Wouldn't it just?
But we never know the ending. We never know what's going to happen.
No. And that's why I guess hope's important. Got to be hopeful. Otherwise,
who is this Hope?
I don't know, but I really like the sound of them. But
Yeah,
we've got
they
to
sound
have
great.
hope. We've got to have a bit of hope.
I am hopeful. I can't help it.
Yeah,
I could do some work on that and become more pessimistic, but
like Pat.
But you know, it's working for me.
Yeah, I think I'm naturally hopeful, but I do keep it in mind. I think it's so important because when you're in a shit time, if it's not there, you're just like, what's the point? What's the point? You've got to have a bit of hope.
Yeah, and all things pass. This too will pass.
This too will pass. God, that's an important one.
Yeah, this too will pass, and perhaps I can make friends.
Yeah.
Perhaps I could join the local community pottery throwing class.
I love it.
Meet Phil, she's there.
Before we send you back to pottery, there are a couple of things. First thing is we are compiling a playlist of music.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nobody warned me about this.
No, we like to keep it spontaneous.
Okay.
If you were to put one song on there that makes you feel great, what would that song be?
Well, you talked about hope. I've just done a podcast with Neil Brand called All About the Music, which I really enjoyed. I can only think of the songs that I put on there, but Someday You'll Come Along, The Man I Love by Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh, I love Ella.
Can you sing that for me?
Definitely not,
okay.
But I'll put it on the playlist.
Okay. you can cut this bit. Hang on.
Okay.
Let's see if I can do it. I haven't warmed up. Someday he'll come along, the man I love, and he'll be big and strong. The man I love. Anyway, it goes on like that.
Yes.
And Ella does it better, believe me.
Oh, I love you were in the zone.
Anyway, I hope you can edit that out.
No, we're keeping that right in.
Oh, no.
And Philippa Perry, where is your happy place?
Oh, where? Oh, my God. I'm sorry to say, but the first thing that came up into my head when you said that was bed.
Yeah.
Bed.
Bed's the best.
Oh, bed. Oh, clean sheets. Oh, bed, clean pajamas, clean sheets, freshly washed hair. Oh,
I love it.
And a really big bed, right? I want to do star shapes without touching anybody else, and that includes you, Kat.
Yeah, Kat and Grayson better be in another postcode over there.
Okay, exactly.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, bed
absolutely love my bed. I love getting into it. I'm not that keen on getting out, which is a good preparation for death, isn't it?
Talking of hope. Well, look, I've loved talking to you today. I so enjoyed this book. It was just...
Thank you.
It came at the perfect time. I was just needed a good bit of escapism and a really jolly good story, and I loved it. So
thank you, Fearne. That's so kind. Thank you.
And look, we've had you on. We've had Florence on. We now need your husband on.
You better get Grayson on, yeah.
Yeah, next on the list.
Yeah.
Thank you, Philippa.
Thank you, Fearne.